Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of this unnamed series. Yes, I haven't named it yet. Still, I'm gonna hold like a referendum after this episode releases, maybe, or probably before it releases. Who knows? Anyways, some things have happened off screen. Specifically, some of the more expansionist nations have expanded. Like they do. Those include Crimea, Odessa, who have taken over this whole piece of land. Albania has massively expanded. They are just megalomaniac expanding. England has expanded westways a little bit. Some areas over here were filled in. Oh yeah, there's a new Irish country. A viewer added that, or a member added that. We also have Holland being introduced. Hamburg, Prepholm. I hate saying that. One of my friends made it. Ireland has expanded massively. They're a lot more girthy now. Other than that, oh yeah, Moscow has grown. And these guys are basically the same. I haven't touched them. Antarctica, not touched. Oh yeah, China. China's here. They're kind of alone right now since nobody else is creating Asian countries, and I'm not allowed to create countries on my own. That's the one thing I wish I could change, but I'm not going to. So, yeah, this map is becoming a lot more filled in, specifically in the west. The west is looking very filled. That sounded weird. Iceland's here, too. We're going to begin with another war, because I'm mostly going to be talking about wars in these new videos going forth. That is between Albania and the Empire of Speckland. Now, if you didn't know, Speckland only has a population of one person, and that person they're very content with their land. This is actually the most stable country in the world currently, because the one person who's here really likes it. Anyways, Albania has declared war on Speckland, and they're wishing to take it over entirely and murder the leader. Yeah, very, very megalomaniac. Anyways, they're going to They're going to send their boats on over here. Oh yeah, there's flags. Hold up. There's flags now. Only a few countries have them right now. Albania has one. It's just the Albania has one. It's just the Albanian flag. Ireland has one. It's pretty basic, but these are ancient flags. We can forgive. Moscow has one. It's very low res because I scaled it down. And the Vikings have one. Iceland has one. It's very Irish looking. I guess there's a lot of Irish culture in Iceland in this world because cultures are entirely different. And there's also Ontario. Anyways, Albania is going to send their ships over here, and they're going to make a landing on Malta. They're finally going to make a landing on Sicily a few months later after months of preparation. They probably built a little outpost here. And they're going to push up through Sicily, and they're going to meet lots of resistance. Yeah. Anyways, they finally set sail for the Speck, the capital of Speckland. Once they land there, they meet a lot of resistance. Men are getting torn apart here. There are hundreds of Albanians in this dude's basement, and they didn't even know. Apparently, this guy's been kidnapping Albanians for a while. Anyways, it's a long, hard battle, about 10,000 casualties. Not really. More like 1,000. They wouldn't send that many people over here. They're very confident. Anyways, they finally take the island, marking the end of Speckland because they have no population left. The dude, he fled. He fled over to Speckland over here. Yeah, I bet you didn't notice that. Speckland. Anyways, they immediately immediately take over the rest of Tunisia over here, and now they've won. They've won the war, and now it's time to take a look at the peace treaty. The peace treaty is as follows: Albania annexes all of this, including the Speck. However, they don't know about the Speck, so it's fine. Anyways, a new government is set up over here. For some reason, it's going to be under control by the same person. But there's a difference. For some reason, the Albanians decided it would be a great idea to ship a bunch of Albanian population over here. So there are like a few thousand Albanians living here now. So it actually has a population. It's like an actual country. And they have like a council. The guy leading it's just there for decorational purposes. Anyways, a few months later, he actually comes over to the country, and surprisingly, he's not executed immediately by all the Albanian populations. Anyways, next thing we're going to see is the Grey Romans expanding once again. They have an extremely high population density because, all of their population fled down here, and they were very small just a second ago. But they're no longer that small. They're kind of chunky now. In fact, they're larger than Big Rome, which is not going to last very long. Red Rome has enacted a new hyper-expansionist policy, and they have taken over a very large sum of land in the north, and now they are once again larger than the Greys. Over here in West France, we see a large expansion covering the entirety of Brittany and starting to reach the Pyrenees. Let's see how that goes. There's also some smaller expansion from the green country over here. I had to change its color. You'll know why soon. Galicia is also going to make an expansion effort. They have a pretty high population, and it's pretty dense because, they lost a war, and they lost territory. And when you lose territory, your people hopefully are loyal and they come back to you. Okay. Anyways, over here we see some more of Ireland being filled in, specifically in the south. This new nation here is going to create some expansionist policies, and they decide that they're not going to be held down by the chains of Irish culture, and they're going to make some expansions overseas. They're going to be one of the few nations with large overseas territories. Albania has some. That's kind of it. Or, well, the Lime nation over here has some. Anyways, Ireland, or Desmond, is going to create 3 small colonies. One here, and one here. So we'll see how the Cornwall Company and the Welsh Company expand in the future. This is the earliest recorded instance of, major colonialism, like taking unknown land from a considerable distance away and making it your own culture. Eliminating the natives too. They're doing that. This is ancient times. People are very racist. Anyways, North Ireland also makes some expansions down here. Pretty soon, the entire Irish Isles will be covered in. That's pretty cool. Scotland also takes some time to expand, and yeah, they're Scotland now. They're no longer Aberdeen. Where's their capital? What the fuck? The new feature. There are 35 hidden gold deposits on this world. When you find a gold deposit, you gain a considerable sum of territory, and you gain an entire bar of stability. We'll go over stability later when it becomes important. It doesn't have too much effects right now because there's not really rebels anymore, or currently. Anyways, you also get, boosts in technological advances, so that's pretty cool. Good luck. I will tell you now, Europe is the sparsest continent when it comes to gold. There is one, I believe. Hold on, let me check. There's one gold deposit in Europe, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, Calais over here is going to make some expansions. After passing some minor government reforms, this is now the Kingdom of East Normandy and Calais. Yeah, that's a very long name, but get used to it. The Hollanders are also going to expand around here. They look something like this now. It's very weird looking, but we'll get used to it. Hamburg is going to move north. Hamburg establishes a territory up here and starts moving north. I don't know why they want to go into Denmark, but God rest your soul. The Gothenburgers are also moving down here. Now I should mention something very important to this series, a new feature that I'm about to add. What layer should I put it on? Alliances. Yup. They're going to be a thing, obviously, because this is a political simulator, And I was originally going to do what I do in most of my series, which is, connect to capitals, but these are very far away nations because people like putting stuff everywhere. So we're gonna use the good old shape system, inspired by Nobody, obviously. Anyways, this first alliance is going to be between the three Native American tribes over here. So that would be, what's his name again? Postanoramia. Yes. Alta and Ontario. This alliance will probably prove very fruitful and won't collapse anytime soon. I'm also going to introduce some economic alliances. So the Vikings are opening themselves up to free trade, and they're also becoming sort of an early technocratic nation. They're very much focusing on development, specifically in the field of naval technology and weapons. Don't know why they want to do that, but we'll see. Anyways, Prepholm is going to make some expansions into these nearby islands. They have been warned, yes, they've been warned by Gothenburg not to expand into Sweden, or any of Scandinavia. However, they are allowed to go into Finland, so we'll see how that goes. So they're just going to kind of migrate, actually. This is the first, almost the first recorded, well, Grey Realm did it. But this is going to be one of the earliest examples of migration. They are going to give up these provinces to the wild animals, I suppose. And they are going to leave it completely because they want to migrate their population overseas. Anyways, they're going to make a landing into Finland and start establishing nation or territories over here. We're also going to see the establishment of an economic alliance down here in this Ukrainian area. They're finally doing something, yeah. And economic alliances are basically they all get benefits, basically. They all get benefits. But if they're unfriendly with each other, then those benefits become harm. So it's best not to be an economic alliance with somebody that's neutral with you. At most, you have to be, like, good friends to get benefits from economic alliances, or else your people will start to fight over trade agreements and whatnot, and currencies and whatnot. So don't do that if you're not friends with them. So you can't just create an economic alliance with, the entire world. You can't just do this. Oh wow, that's weird. The Antarcticans have expanded once again. They're looking humongous, but don't let that deceive you. This is the Mercator projection after all. They're not that big. They are the largest country currently, I'm pretty sure, but they're not huge like that. Anyways, China over here is going to expand up north. I keep forgetting to say this, but oh shit, what did I just do? I keep forgetting to say this, but China is actually referred to as the Roboland Dynasty, because it was created by a dude named, Call Robo. I have the creator of every country next to them, so I remember who made what. You probably saw it in the first episode, because I was still getting my bearings, but I pretty much know who made every nation now. Anywho, we're going to see Iceland. They're going to join this economic alliance over here. So, oh, that's the wrong shape. It should be a square. Speaking of Iceland, they're not going to move inland because it's not a wise idea. Instead, they're going to start sailing the seas. Because, why not? What could possibly be out there? They land in Greenland, and they decide to give it the beautiful name of Iceland. Yeah, you thought they were going to name it Greenland? No. Actually, canonically, these guys are known as Greenland. Yeah. Or, well, not really, because they don't know Iceland over here is the thing. Don't try not to get it mixed up. I don't like how this looks, so I'm going to give them this province, too. Yeah, the people in this universe actually know what they're doing. so they're going to name them the correct names. Breaking news, another war is happening. Can you guess between who? Yep, it's between the Romans and the Grey Romans, again. Apparently the Romans weren't satisfied with the original war, and now they have to beat the shit out of the Grey Romans, again. And their goal is kind of to take all this land up here and massacre the Grey Romans in the process. I don't know why these two hate each other so fucking much, but yeah. The Romans are going to immediately start attacking, as they do. So the Romans begin their advance, but this time they're met with a little bit more resistance than before, because of national spirit, I guess. Grey Rome has kind of enacted a defensive pact, and Red Rome is, they're struggling. They're killing a lot more people this time, because, they're struggling for so long. Last time was pretty fast, so they didn't kill people that much. And they're going to hold on to this territory. They're not going to keep going further. However, they will send a few ships over here to, jump off, kill some people, and then, do their business. And then they leave, and then they keep doing that every, week. So Grey Rome is getting massacred right now, and nobody can do anything about it because Rome is the most powerful country in the world. Anyways, the Popeyes Empire is going to expand over here into the Balearic Islands. Yes. We're also going to see the Lime Nation expand over here, this a ways. The Lime Nation's ambitions are relatively unknown. They're probably looking to build a Mediterranean empire, and that starts with them claiming Rhodes and this island, and they make a landing on Crete. Israel has been doing something for the past few episodes, and it's going to prove very fruitful for them. They have been conversing with the natives of, what the fuck is this called again? They have been conversing with the natives of the Sinai Peninsula for the past, 30 years, and they've grown very close. So, ultimately, the Sinai people decide to just join Israel. Yeah, no conquering. They're raising Israeli flags over here without any Israeli troops or settlers ever having to step in here, just ambassadors. So, that's pretty interesting. It's made clear that Israel's ambitions are to take over the Middle East. Yeah. There's nobody in the Middle East yet. Anyways, as mentioned last episode, these guys have some very, very expansionist policies. Why are the squares brown? These guys have some very expansionist policies, and they're going to expand a lot. In this. Ignore why they're blue now. I had to change their color too. So all these provinces over here are going to fall under order of Postanoramia. Yes, I'm getting good at saying that now. And Postanoramia is looking massive compared to all the other countries on the world. I mean, it's of considerable size. I think it's the largest, not counting them, or actually, no wait, Iceland. Iceland's the largest. The Vikings were formerly the largest, but now they aren't. Never fucking mind. Looks like they're huge again. The Vikings are rapidly expanding because they have one goal, which is to find gold. They discovered a small, tiny, not significant gold deposit along their coast, and they invented panning, and now they're searching for it. They are hungry for gold, and they're going to do everything it takes. The first thing they're trying to do is move around this area to search for major gold deposits because they love gold. Originally, it was the Castilians who loved gold, but in this universe, it's the Vikings. The Vikings are actually peaceful traders in this universe instead of slaughterers and British invaders. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap up this video. This area is still occupied, so we'll see how that plays out in the future, in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and if you want to create your own country, just comment the name, location, and color. All countries need to have names now. That's a new rule. Yeah, it's official. Oh, and one last thing, I'm changing Israel's color, because I just realized it's the same color as France. There you are. Thanks for watching. Bye.